Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to brighten up the place. Let's get into this conversation. I previously did a conversation where I talked about Oprah and therock, and primarily Oprah, but it's him included, and honestly, any other celebrity that has been affected by the wildfires in Maui, and they're claiming that they want to help because the fires there were extremely devastating, and a lot of the people there are very skeptical as to how it really happened, why it happened, and if there's a bigger plan in place for developers and other entities and people that really have the money to come in and take people's native land for pennies on the dollar, which is something that happens a lot in this country. And as you know, Hawaii, which is where Maui is located, is known as like paradise. People like Mark Zuckerberg, they have homes there. Oprah definitely, she owns thousands of acres of land there. And I often think about the greed of a lot of these, not just celebrities, but these developers, that they just really want to come in and take people's stuff for little or nothing for them to profit and benefit off of it. It happens all across the country. It may not be in a city near you, but it happens all across the country. And it angers me. I mean, there's so much corruption that goes on, but we do have this thing, especially in the United States, but it's across, the world, it's across the globe as well, where people tend to idolize and worship these celebrities. And sometimes it's not so much that they're worshiping the people, some do, but sometimes people, they try to do this thing with mindset and visualization and, if I don't hate on this celebrity's wealth, then that won't block my blessings from coming. And I'm not saying that we should sit and hate on anybody, but definitely there's no wrong in questioning some of these people's ideals, questioning some of their motives. And yeah, I do have a problem with somebody like Oprah owning thousands of acres of land in Hawaii. Why do you really need that? And I know it's not about need. Sometimes it's just stuff that you want to have. But to my knowledge, she built a school in Africa. I believe it was in South Africa. Why do you need thousands of acres of land in Hawaii? You know what I mean? And a lot of the people who are native to that area, they don't like people like Oprah and the others coming in and just swapping up a lot of the land. It's like, what are your intents and purposes for doing so? Well, they got called out, she and therock, because they pledged to donate some money, $10 million, I believe, maybe combined. I don't know if it's $5 million each or they each are going to donate $10 million. To be honest with you, it doesn't even really matter, because I saw a story about what they donated and what it actually amounts to in the percentage of what their actual wealth is. And it was like 0.00 something percent. I don't have the article in front of me, so I can't quote it. But basically, it really isn't much in terms of what they already have and what they also have coming in. So, because these people their money makes them money at this point in time. Winfrey, she's worth $2.8 billion. So when they created this so-called fund for people to donate their money to help out the people in Maui during this time of need, a lot of people were blasting them online about it. One person, they said, girl, you got some nerve asking us working class people who can barely afford to put food on the table for our families to donate. Why don't you ask your millionaire/billionaire buddies to help? And somebody else said a billionaire and a millionaire asking you to donate your money. So she did an interview recently because she's responding to the backlash of people that are calling her out for what she and therock have done. So I'm going to play this clip. Now, the interview is from the CBS This Morning show, which, ironically, her best friend, Gail, is one of the hosts of. Now, she's doing an interview with this author that she co-wrote a book with on the secrets to creating a happier life or something like that. And it's kind of ironic with all of this going on that this is a book that she wrote, which, I mean, do we really need another book like this? I'm just going to be honest. I'm sure it's going to be on the New York Times bestsellers list because it's Oprah. But all of these, books about being happy and stuff like that, it really isn't a hard thing for anyone to do when you have access, right? And there are so many of us, I'm putting, myself included in that category, because of life circumstances and situations, we haven't been able to get the access to a number of different things to help us to create a happier life. So unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are in a state where that's, they're just existing. They're not living. So I'm going to say somebody who's, I don't know, just giving an example, somebody who's working at Walmart as a checker who has 3 or 4 kids, the father isn't around to help support, and they're just trying to live. They're not going to go out and say, how can I create a happier life? Let me go and see what Oprah's written about. This woman who's worth $2.8 billion, who, let's just be honest, a lot of these people, not saying that they don't have any talent, but a lot of them have been given opportunities that they may not have really deserved. It was just because someone got to know them, felt that they were a good fit for something, and gave them an opportunity. So I just wanted to speak to that because it kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth, just being beautifully honest, to have her sitting here and discussing in this interview where she's on with this author that she co-wrote this book with, talking about creating and building a life that you want, while this is just one sect of people in Maui. There's so many people who are struggling and have experienced things that were beyond their control that happen, and now they're just trying to live. And these fires happen. It destroyed so many things around them. Unfortunately, a lot of people lost their lives. They don't want to hear about how do you build a happier life. You know what I mean? So in this interview, when they're talking about the book that they're asking them about, they get to talking about the fund. So let's just go ahead and get into this.
We're going to begin this hour with Oprah. There's only one in her new book. She shares her wisdom about the secrets to greater happiness. According to a recent survey, listen to this number, only 25% of Americans say they are very happy. What? To find out what that means to be happy, Oprah collaborated with Arthur C. Brooks, a Harvard professor who studies and teaches the science of happiness. I want to know what the C stands for, Arthur Brooks. Their book is called Build the Life You Want, The Art and Science of Getting Happier. In it, they share practical advice on how to change your life for the better. Oprah and Arthur C. Brooks, what does the C stand for?
The C stands for Charles. I don't know why I put it in there, but there you go.
Well, it stands out. So I want to start with you, Arthur, because people would think you must be a naturally happy person.
Yeah.
And in your book, I was surprised to see that, nope, you say normally you can be gloomy and anxious, and that even your wife said, after all this research, maybe you need to follow some of your own research.
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny line.
I know. She's pretty funny. I mean, my wife is a naturally very happy person, but it is that I study happiness because I want to be a happier person. I became a social scientist to learn about myself. It's me-search rather than research, and that was a really important thing. Then over the past 30 years, I haven't cracked the code entirely, but Oprah and I have put together a handbook, an owner's manual for emotional self-management. It's worked for me.
I remember when Oprah first discovered you, Arthur. You want to tell that story?
Well, it was during the pandemic, and, I didn't leave home for 322 days.
Yes.
And so I was reading The Atlantic and reading his column and being inspired and fortified by every week, every Thursday, there was another drop, and had a conversation with him. And afterwards I thought, wow, this is the kind of guy that if I was still doing the show, we would be calling him every day to be an expert on every subject. Then I invited him over for dinner. Best dinner guest ever.
I'll bet.
Because you can probe his brain on happiness. And I thought, we should do something together. And so now we are.
Yeah.
So only 25% of Americans say they're very happy.
Right.
But a premise of the book is that happiness doesn't just happen.
Right.
It's something you got to work on, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Most people think that the biggest mistake people make about happiness is they think it's a feeling. And they're waiting for the feeling to kind of come to them, like a dove coming to sit on your shoulder. It doesn't work that way at all. People have feelings of happiness, but that's evidence of happiness. You need to work on it. It's a combination of enjoyment, satisfaction, and purpose. And all of those things we can understand and we can work on, make it a project. And that's what we're talking about.
I first started getting really interested in the subject itself of happiness because at the end of every show, I would sit with the audience and I would have conversations with them. It was my own focus group for 25 years. And I would always ask people, what do you really want? What do you really want? And people would always say, I just want to be happy. Then I would say, what does that look like?
You take it one step further, and then
what does
they
it
couldn't
look
answer.
like?
Yeah.
And most people could not answer it.
Right.
It's an audience made up of mostly women, and many times they would say, well, I want my kids to be happy. Okay, so now your kids are out of the house. Then what? What does it look like for you?
Yeah.
So
Well, let me ask you this. Well, what does happiness look like for you now versus, let's say, 30 years ago? I mean, what research did you do while collaborating on this project?
Well, happiness for me now is more a level of contentment and peace of mind and satisfaction coming from purpose and meaning that I have in my life. So it used to be doing.
Yeah.
It used to be a schedule that I was just saying to somebody this morning, a schedule that if there was a space in the day, it would be filled. If there was an hour.
Because you wanted to be productive.
Yeah, it was being productive and always working.
But I like what you say, though, because people, you get the statistics, and it shows that happiness is down. So what do we do? And there's a thing in the book, Arthur, where you say you can't change the world, but you can change how you experience. So how can we be happier?
This is super important because a lot of people think that I can't be. Oprah and I talk about this in the book a lot. I can't be happy until something changes. I can't be happy until my marriage is better. I can't be happy until something resolved in my health.
I can't be happy until I lose weight.
Until my finances sort themselves out. People say this all the time. And the whole point is you can be happier no matter what's going on in your life. And and the way to do it is to understand the components of happiness and to work on them and then to put together a portfolio. Look, in this book, we have this happiness 401k. We have the things that you need to be investing in every single day. Your faith, your family, your real friends, not your deal friends. And everybody knows the difference between the two.
Yes.
And dedicating your work, no matter what you're doing, offering it up as service to other people. And we walk step by step about what the science says, about how to understand this point, how to practice these things, how to teach them to other people. So this is a step-by-step approach using science and real stories from real people's lives, by the way, including our lives in this book.
Yeah, because you say happiness is not a destination, it's a direction.
Yeah.
Like that.
And that's why we call it the art and science of being happier,
Right.
not just being happy.
There's an book, Oprah, where you talk about a period in your life when you were literally on trial, not criminal trial, it was a lawsuit. You said something about Hamburg. The beef producers were suing you, and it was a 6-week trial. It's exhausting, it's demanding, there are stakes involved, and yet you write, you had reason to be happy. How do you find that reason?
Well, one of the things that, when I'm going through any trial is being able to do, I was doing this when I didn't even know it was called metacognition. He talks about metacognition in the book. When you can separate the circumstances of what's going on from what is really going on in here. You can feel the feeling and you allow you to be objective about that's happening out there and I am here. So that metacognition, which is really thinking about the thinking, is really helpful. And for me, it always goes back to gratitude.
Yes.
Gratitude. Oprah, I want to shift gears a little bit and turn to the Hawaii wildfires. help those in need. The People's Fund of Maui was created by you and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, in which you both poured time and millions to kick it off yourselves, yet and still it faced online criticism. I want to give you the opportunity to kind of give your thoughts on that.
Well, this is a really great point about being happier in the midst of an onslaught of being terrorized and vilified online. I will say that with so much more compassion for young kids, because I was thinking, what if I didn't really know who I assurance of Invictus, that I am the master of my own fate and the captain of my soul. If
it would have taken you down.
It would have taken. It will take you out. Yeah. So all of the online, being
slander and
attacks, lies, conspiracy theories, really took the focus off of what was the most important thing, and that was the people of. Because, as you know, when you were there, Tony, I was on the ground talking to lots of people, trying to figure out how do I best help. Material things, dropping off generators and towels. And then I started talking to people. People really wanted their own agency. Gail's son, Will, sent me an article about Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton, in 2017, during the wildfires in Gatlinburg, started a People's Fund. She called it My People's Fund. She had a concert. And then directly gave it to the people, $1,000 a month. I thought, whoa, that's the idea.
Money into the hands of the people.
Directly into the hands of the people. Right so now. To set up the infrastructure for that, The Rock and his team and my team, we were literally on I don't know how many Zooms to set up the infrastructure for the verification process to be able to drop money into people's accounts. And we thought, because both of us have given to charity first paycheck, a tither.
And still do that.
And still do that. Right. Okay. So we thought starting the fund with $10 million would be a great. Any of us who've ever been to any benefit, you know, you go to a benefit and somebody gives $10 million, that's called a good night.
Right.
So we thought $10 million would start off the fund. We'll do what Dolly did, get other directly into the people's bank accounts. I was so excited. I was so excited about it.
It's still a good idea.
And then I got up the next morning.
You still should be.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I got up the next morning and I saw all of this vitriol and I was like, whoa, what happened here? So this is what I want to say. I want to say that in the beginning, so many people were calling, asking, where do we give our money to? So I thought, I'm going to give people a place to create. We're going to create. Wrong idea.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton was right. Putting money directly into the hands of the people is a significant thing. And the model that's been created, I will say that as of today, 2,200 people have been cleared and verified. And those people are going to get a notice from the People's Fund of Maui and going to have the. Made me sad that we're at this state in our country, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, everything leads to this kind of polarization, even serving other people. But here's the point.
I'm going to stop it right there. Sorry, guys. It was freezing a bit as the video was playing, so that's why you were hearing those pauses. But the thing about the Dolly Parton situation that she was talking about, Dolly Parton didn't ask people to donate their money. She held a concert, and you could say, well, people use their money to buy the tickets for the concert, but she used that money to donate to those people. And again, the money was sent directly. Nothing wrong with Oprah wanting to create a fund to get money directly into the people's hands like Dolly Parton did, but she doesn't get that. People are pissed off at her because you're asking other people to donate, and her being disingenuous in that interview saying, so many people were contacting me, asking me, how do I give? How do I donate? What do I do? Who are all these people that were contacting you? Did you call Oprah? Do you all have Oprah's number? Like, are you all DMing Oprah on social media asking her, how do they donate? How do they donate? How do we don't? Like, no. And if you were being contacted by your celebrity friends, because that's the only people that I can think of that would be contacting her directly, then you ask them to give. If regular everyday people want to donate, that's their right to do so. But she doesn't really see that she's coming off extremely disingenuous and unapologetic. And look, I guess she is a billionaire, so she doesn't have to be apologetic. And I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that's how she feels, because pretty much at this point, it's like, F your feelings. I got the finances and there's nothing that you can do about it. But to call the people expressing their concerns about this not being a good look for her as vitriol and saying, I just can't believe we're at this place in our country. It's not like people were, well, hey, I don't know if people were saying racist things to her, but I'm saying from what I saw, the majority of the comments that people had, it was about the money. It wasn't about her race, her ethnicity. They weren't calling her, the N-word. They weren't saying anything about her skin color. So to say, I can't believe we're at this place in our country. Yeah, the place that we're at in this country is, we are dealing with high inflation. I was just having a conversation with somebody recently about the fact that they want to buy a home, but they're not able to do so right now because of the pricing. And I was just expressing my concern, saying, even though I am a homeowner, I don't understand it. And it doesn't make sense to me either, because to me, my personal opinion, I feel like they're trying to price regular people out from being able to purchase homes, because at one point in time, that was supposed to be the American dream. That's just a couple of examples as to the place we're at in our country. So for her to say, I can't believe we're at this place in our country, if she was talking about racial divide or people who are so divided in politics and allowing their emotions to get wrapped up in this political BS and drama that goes on and not seeing what the real issues are, I could see if she was talking about that. But people being angry about a millionaire and a billionaire asking people to donate to this fund that they quote unquote created so that the people of Maui can be assisted, there are a lot of people out here that are struggling right now. So nobody's really trying to hear it for a billionaire and a millionaire that are asking people to let's join forces and give to the people of Maui. Yeah, they may definitely need it, because unfortunately, the people who live there, the natives, a lot of the reasons why things are so expensive is because of tourism. It's because of development. It's because of people literally trying to drive people out of their native land so that they can take over and bring in wealthy people like the Oprahs and the Rock and the other celebrities and just other wealthy people that we don't know. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is the place we're at in the country now. So a lot of people just are not hearing what Oprah is trying to put in our ears when it comes to her trying to come across as the victim. You're not the victim. You're not the victim, Oprah. And so, I mean, I feel the same way that I felt before when I talked about this situation. I'm just like, wow, you might as well just kept your mouth shut. I don't think that she really cares that she's getting the backlash that she's receiving, because, yeah, she and The Rock, they turned their comments off on the post about that, but people can go on other posts that don't have anything to do with that, and they can express their thoughts and views on that situation, which is what a lot of people have done. So it's like, you can just turn off all of your comments. You don't have to even look at your social media. You can afford to have a lot of people be social media managers to handle your content, and you don't even have to look at one word that is going to break your soul, like Beyonce said, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just not here for it. I am not shocked or surprised, but this is where we're at in the country right now. So anyway, guys, you let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Thanks for being here. So much for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.